find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. Now on 2nd and 13. Garoppolo. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each seat.
Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Willie Gay getting in there and picking up the sack.
Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3. Because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
Back to throw here, Herbert. That one complete. He finds Sharp. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. 94 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the 1st quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Bringing him down defensively, Jayon Brown.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now it's Herbert. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 17-yard line. Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score.
That's the end of the 1st quarter with the score, Chargers 14, Raiders 7.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Everett, and he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
When a drive goes this long, you have to give a lot of credit to the guys up front, those big fellas, because the offensive line is putting something together that allows them to continue to control the ball. I know a lot of people think they get fatigued on a long drive. Actually, a lot of times the reverse happens. They actually get energized because they're controlling the ball and they're the ones dictating to the defense.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. The quick slant caught. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
2nd and goal from the 1. Now a give right side. Everett. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Chargers have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. A try here for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7.
Makes the score. Chargers 21, Raiders 7.
The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Here we go.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
13.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked by Kenneth Murray. And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football. But just a... there in the middle of the field, and this one winds up a turnover.
Yeah, they're running a crossing route here, and the idea of it is to get defenders confused about who to go with. But if you throw it too early, sometimes it's your quarterback that gets confused, and here he throws it into coverage and gets it intercepted.
This will be caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Chargers. Albert Okwuegbunam, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Chargers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Chargers 28, Raiders 7.
The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete, and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go.
Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted.
Picked by Kenneth Murray.
And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football.
Well, those have been a problem for them all season, but never quite as much as they have in these last few minutes. Let's count it up now. A pair of picks on his team's last 2 drives and double-digit interceptions this season. I don't care if you're the best in the game or an undrafted rookie. You've got to take better care of the football, or you're going to cost your team chances.
After the turnover, here's Herbert.
He'll get that complete to Albert O. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start.
And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown. Curtis Samuel, a 14-yard touchdown.
And the Chargers are able to add on to their first half lead.
Point after here coming up. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead.
Chargers 35, Raiders 7.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Here we go, here we go.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Once again, it's Jacobs.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this.
Here we go, here we go, here
So
we go.
from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Jacobs going to try the middle. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Here we go.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They will run out of the gun with Jacobs.
And the defense on him quickly there as they stop him at the 40 for a gain of just 2. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here we go, here we go.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder coming up in a couple of minutes' time. We'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman, the coach in our EA Sports Studios. He'll have a look back at the next-gen stats from this first half of action. Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
On fourth down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Charger drive about to get going. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, it might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. That's complete. It's Okuegbunam. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Play action. It's Herbert. And the Raiders have got him. Now the Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Herbert off of play action. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. He's got it at the 15. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point right down the middle, and a rout is on here in this first half. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive.
Things for them, just to put it bluntly, man, it has been tough sledding here in the first half, facing that big deficit. The clock is dwindling now. Maybe if they can get something on the board here before intermission, they'll have at least a little momentum heading into the second half.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want, and other times the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
And obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
It's now 3rd and 9.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
So we have reached halftime intermission with the visiting Chargers on top. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely, but you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Garoppolo on the bootleg. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by J.C. Jackson. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD.
And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Raiders 7.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
109 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Jacobs tried to run on first down, but he's going to be stopped and taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And he's taken down at the 43. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
He had to fight for every yard on that run. Shook himself free of a tackle and kept fighting, even with the rest of the defense closing in on him. That's the kind of effort you'll take every single time.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. To throw is Garoppolo. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. It's a gain of 19 down to the 19, and it's a 1st down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
Brought down by Willie Gay.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year.
And the Raiders are able to claw one back.
So he visits pay dirt for a 2nd time. Unfortunately, they're still down on the big board.
And I wonder what's going through his mind right now. Playing hard, making big plays. That wasn't a small run by any stretch of the imagination either. To find the end zone for the 2nd time, yet his team's still down. They need more of that from him and a little help from the defensive guys.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
From deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Charger drive about to get going. Still well in control of this ball game despite giving up that touchdown a moment ago. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
From the 22, Herbert. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
They'll get it across the 35. It'll be second down.
In third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
From the 36, Herbert forced out to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
I would describe the way that he's played today as mature. He's already moved on mentally from that incompletion, and he's more than ready to throw his next pass downfield.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. From the shotgun, here's Herbert. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 43. So both teams trade touchdowns in the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 43. Now a handoff up the middle. Everett, and he's got some space here.
133 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Herbert takes it and just pops it forward.
And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
On second down now, Everett.
And they're knocking on the door now as a good run there going to take this to about the 10-yard line.
It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now it's 2nd and 9.
They'll keep it on the ground. Everett, he pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The Chargers on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 6. Up the middle they go. Everett.
And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but They'll take the 3, and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
Here we go.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Garoppolo shakes off the sack. He'll let one go deep for Howard. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Derwin James with a pick.
Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
The Charger drive about to get going.
And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
161 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
They'll keep it on the ground. Everett, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I know we're in the era of wide open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
On second down, Everett.
Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that